Championship Sunday is this Sunday, and I know you want to bet it. Well, you're in luck. What's going on, BLV bettors, gridiron gamblers, and my degenerates out there? It's Mitch here, back with another week of NFL Best Bets, this time for the AFC and NFC Championship games, breaking down, for the first time ever, 3 different bets for each game. I'm going to give you a way to bet the winner, a way to bet the total, and then one prop from each game that I believe will hit this Championship Sunday. If that sounds good, don't forget to spike the like button and subscribe for weekly NFL best bets, including the Super Bowl, the big game. Before I get started, if you want to know what I'm doing for the AFC and NFC Championship games, you want to know my exact bets, the units placed on those bets, you can check out my Patreon. It's also a way to support me if you like these videos and you like this channel. It's $3 a month. You're going to get all my Super Bowl bets, all my prop bets for the Super Bowl, all my prop bets for the AFC and NFC Championship, including my biggest bets that I will make this Championship Sunday. Now, without further ado, let's get right into the games. We're going to start with the AFC Championship and then move to the NFC Championship. So the first bet is going to be a way to bet the game. And that bet is going to be the 49ers. But I would rather not lay a full 7 in an NFC Championship game. That's the way that I would lean if you were to put a gun to my head and say, Mitch, who you betting with the spread in the NFC Championship? I'd go Niners. I actually bet it at 6.5 very early in the week, so I'm fortunate, but 7 is much different from 6.5, as we know, and I could very well see a push there in that scenario. So I want to lay off the 7. A better way to bet it is going 49ers halftime final, and that would be listed at basically the same as if you would lay the 7. In fact, it might actually be better odds at this point. So the 49ers to lead at halftime and to lead at the end of the game. And why I like this specifically when it comes to San Francisco is, as we know, there is a stat out there that suggests that the 49ers are not very good when playing from behind. Now, they did play from behind last week, and they did go on to win, but they were actually leading at halftime against the Packers. So you would have cashed this bet as well, as I did, against the Green Bay Packers. And you just avoid the spread altogether. So this would be the way that I would play this game. I think the 49ers will win this game. I think the 49ers will be able to get a lead, maintain that lead, and win this game. Now, the way that it's going to look, I think offensively, San Francisco is going to come out. They're going to be aggressive. I think they're going to throw the football and throw the football a lot with Brock Purdy in nice sunny conditions in San Francisco and not the rain. I think they're going to spread the Lions out and pick apart the middle of the field and their linebacking core. And then when they try to take that middle of the field away, spread it out with their one-on-one matchup to Brandon Ayuk versus Cam Sutton or Vildor or whoever they're putting out there against Brandon Ayuk. He's going to have an advantage. You look at the weapons for the 49ers. I think CMC can operate really well underneath this defense on option routes and Texas routes and things across the middle of the field to take advantage of the linebackers of Detroit, as well as George Kittle, who's just overall going to be a very tough matchup. If Deebo Samuel does not play, which I highly think he's going to play, I still believe that the 49ers will be able to move the football through the air, and I actually think that people are underestimating how effective and how efficient Christian McCaffrey has been on the ground, and just because Detroit has a good ground defense, I still think they're going to be able to move the ball, specifically on outside zone in this game. Getting outside the tackles to Trent Williams' left side, I think there's going to be success running the ball as well. So I think Brock Purdy's going to be comfortable. I think he's going to be able to get the matchups he wants. I think Kyle is going to have a field day against a defense that's basically allowed 300 passing yards 5 weeks in a row, and they actually have allowed 350 yards to Baker Mayfield, Matthew Stafford, even Nick Mullins a few weeks ago in the regular season. This defense has really struggled in pass defense, and this is the best, most effective and efficient offense in all of football. They will have 30-plus points in this game. We'll get to that in a second here. On the other side of the football, the reason I think they're going to be able to finish and win this game in the second half after they lead through their offense is going to be their pass rush. I think that the 49ers are going to find an effective way to take advantage of Frank Ragnow being beat up, Jonah Jackson being out of this game at guard, and pass rush Jared Goff, who is a statue in the pocket. The Lions are not as good of an offense when they are a drop-back passing game. And if they get behind early, I think we're going to see Nick Bosa, Eric Armstead, Javon Hargrave, Javon Kinlaw, and of course Chase Young tee off at Jared Goff. I do understand the Lions have a good offense. I do think they'll be able to run the ball a bit here and there, but I don't think it's going to be super consistent. I think they're going to be able to get some runs, but it's not going to be like gashing the 49ers. And I think the Niners, after what they experienced against the Packers, will be better equipped to defend the outside the tackle runs. I think they're going to adjust some of the things for Jahmyr Gibbs this week, as they know that is what's going to be attacked here from the Lions standpoint. They have really good middle of the field defenders with Fred Warner, Dre Greenlaw, Lenore at the nickel position. I think they're going to be able to take away the money concepts of the Lions in the middle of the field, where Jared Goff's all about that play action, rip it over the middle. I don't think that's going to be super successful here, and they're really good against tight ends, so I don't expect Laporta to have a huge day either. It's going to be about, can Jared Goff stand back there, have enough time to operate and throw outside the numbers? And I just don't see that being very effective. Once the Niners have gotten that lead, the home crowd will be initiated and engaged, and they will be all over in the minds and in the heads of the Lions. And I just don't know if the Lions have enough here defensively to keep them in it and offensively to come back. So I'm going to go 49ers to lead at half, to win at the end of the game. And I do think they'll cover the 7, but I'm just going to avoid that altogether. Now, taking a look at the total and the best way to play the total when it comes to the game or a team, I would rock with the 49ers going over their team total of 29.5. I don't really know how many points the Lions are going to score. I could see Detroit scoring up to potentially 27 points in this game, and then the total for the game could go over. But I do know that the Niners, in perfect conditions against one of the worst pass defenses in football, are going to find success. And I do think that they will score 30-plus points in this game. And I was actually wrong about them doing that last week, but I didn't know how bad the rain would be. And we all know how bad Brock Purdy is in the rain. I think even in that game, there were missed opportunities from the 49ers. People open. It's just Purdy had a bad game. I think against Detroit, it's going to be the same, except Purdy's going to hit those passes. Purdy's going to make those plays. And I think that, especially in the first half, we could see the Niners put up near 20 points here. I think they're going to come out fire flames. The rust is off. This is going to be a big game to set the tempo and set the tone here. And Detroit's been outgained in both of their playoff games. Detroit has been giving up, like I said, tons of passing yards. And if passing is the way to go, then obviously that's going to lead to more explosives, definitely shorter drives, and that could lead to more points for the 49ers. So, and then if Detroit is able to move the ball and score points against this 49er defense, which Detroit's a very good offense, so there is a way that they could do that, running the ball as we suggest, and then, of course, the weapons they have. If they're able to match the 49ers, then that's only going to push the Niners to score more points near the end of this game. So I definitely see San Francisco getting somewhere around 30 to 38 in this game, and I think you're going to go over the team total. I'm just not exactly sure whether it's a smart bet to go over the 51.5, because I'm not exactly sure what we're going to get out of Detroit. I could see them having a really tough time blocking the Niners. I could also see them having a bad Jared Goff game outdoors. I could also see them putting up points. So it's really hard to know that side of the ball, but I do know the Niners side of the ball. They're going to score points. Next, we're going to look at the prop, which I'm just going to correlate everything. So I believe the Niners are going to win. I believe the Niners are in good conditions, and I believe they're going to score points. So my favorite bet from an odds perspective is Brock Purdy going over 2.5 passing touchdowns. Now, this is a bold bet, and this is a little bit of a long shot considering this is very much plus money. You're looking at nearly 3 times your money with this bet. But if the Niners are going to score 30-plus points, That means they're at least scoring 4 touchdowns. Let's give Christian McCaffrey one of those touchdowns rushing. Now let's look at Brock Purdy to throw 3 to 4 touchdowns. We've seen him do that a lot this season. So, especially in big games. I expect Brock Purdy to put 3 or 4 touchdowns in this game. We saw Baker Mayfield do that against Detroit last week on the road. Matthew Stafford definitely had a chance to do that. And down the stretch, as I suggested, this has been one of the worst pass defenses. And what I think the Niners will be able to take advantage of is the Lions trying to sell out and pressure Purdy, which could lead to big plays and potential touchdowns. I could see Brock Purdy definitely landing on 3 touchdowns here, so it's worth to take a little bit of a chance on a plus money bet at over 2.5 touchdowns. Purdy's bounce back game. Now let's switch to the AFC Championship, and the way I want to play who is going to win is going to be the Ravens minus 3.5. I'm just going to lay the spread. I'd prefer a 3, and that's actually what I bet along with the Niners minus 6.5 early in this week. But 3.5 is still money for me. I think that this Chiefs team right now is being a little bit overrated, and the Ravens are being a little bit underrated because of the Chiefs' history. I think a lot of what people are talking about when it comes to the Chiefs is Mahomes, the Super Bowls of the past, the history of the past, their ability to win these games in the past. But I don't think enough people are looking at what the Ravens have done this year, and I don't think enough people are talking about what the Chiefs have done against the opponents they've played. Now, I understand the Bills in Buffalo is a tough game, but with their defense beat up as it was easy to see a world where Mahomes was able to go out there and shred them. And that's exactly what happened, right? I saw Mac Jones shred that defense this year, okay? Like put that into perspective. We saw that. We saw Mason Rudolph have some success in the wild card round, right? So this Bills defense, with all the injuries they had, especially at linebacker and A.J. Klein coming off his couch to play, you could see a world where Mahomes would shred them, right? Kelsey, they just had a ridiculous yards per play, a ridiculous rate of first downs. I mean, they didn't even face third downs. It was an embarrassing defensive performance from Buffalo. And the offense of Buffalo has been very run-oriented. The receivers have been super overrated. Their passing game has not been the same outside of that Dolphins game where they were chasing the game. And Josh Allen has really had to do everything himself. This Ravens team is a complete football team. The Chiefs kind of give me the vibe as a Patriots fan as that 2013 Patriots team where they got some good aspects, but they're not even anywhere close to that 2013 Broncos team. This is what it feels like to me with the Chiefs and the Ravens here. The Ravens are a complete team with an animal at quarterback, a really good O-line, a running game, receiving core, a great defense who's the best in football, and I really see very little advantages for the Chiefs. I don't think they're going to be able to run the ball all over the Ravens like they did against Buffalo, and that's been a main component of their offensive success as of late. They've got middle of the field defenders with Roquan Smith, Kyle Hamilton, and company that can take away Travis Kelce pretty successfully. The Chiefs don't have great receivers, and Marlon Humphrey could be back here, which would lock up Rashee Rice potentially in this game. And then on the other side, the Ravens have proven they've gotten answers against the blitz if the Chiefs decide to go that way. They can run the ball on the Chiefs, which the Bills definitely did, and the Bills had a really successful underneath quick RPO passing game, which Lamar has aced all season long. This is just a misevaluation. This spread to me should be closer to 4.5, 5. I think that 3.5 is too low. So I'm going to lay the points with the Ravens. I could see them winning this game by a touchdown plus, and that's not what everyone wants to happen, but I very well could see a world where this does happen because I think the Ravens, especially at home, are that good, and their defense is something that the Chiefs have not faced in weeks. So give me Baltimore here with the MVP and the best defense in football to take care of business at home in the AFC Championship, even over the mythical figure of Patrick Mahomes. Now, looking at the total, I would go with the under 44.5, and I was wrong about the Chiefs total last week. I thought the Bills defense would play a little bit better, especially against the run, but I don't think I evaluated correctly the injuries of the Bills, and that's on me. But what I can correctly evaluate is the Ravens defense. They did not allow a red zone trip against CJ Stroud last week. They did not allow a single red zone trip by the Houston Texan offense. I do not care. That is impressive. The Chiefs and the Ravens have been 2 of the 3 best defenses, along with the Browns, all season long. This game screams under. Everyone's going to bet the over. The percentage of bets is going to be on the over, but I guarantee you the under is the play, and it's because these have been two of the three best defenses all year, and this is the playoffs. They're going to let them play. They're going to let them tug and hold, especially from the Chiefs' standpoint where they play a lot of man and they play aggressive coverage, and I think they're going to get away with it a little bit. And I think Spags is a great coordinator and Mike McDonald is a great coordinator. The defenses have been the most consistent units in this game, and I think they're going to showcase their ability here. If the Chiefs can hang in it, it's going to be because of their defense. And I do see, the Ravens scoring around 24 points, but I'm questioning the Chiefs' ability to get to 21 to 24 points. I think that this is something like 24-17. So I'm going to go with the under 44.5, which is a pretty key number. I think two of the best defenses in football all year show up once again in this huge game where there could be a little bit of light rain. And I think the defensive coordinators are prepared to give these offenses and these quarterbacks fits. Next, the prop. The prop for the AFC Championship. I'm going to go with Justice Hill. I could have went a number of different ways here in this game. I was looking at Rashad Bateman overs. I was looking at Travis Kelce unders. I was looking at Lamar Jackson over 1.5 touchdowns. There's a lot of different things I kind of threw up in the air here, and I'll probably have a bunch of different bets for props in this game. But Justice Hill is one that I want to kind of lean into. Justice Hill, I think, is going to be obviously the key featured receiving back for the Ravens. We've seen the Chiefs give up a lot of receiving yards to running backs, especially the Bills matchup, which was most recent. Latavius Murray had 2 to 3 catches. James Cook had a huge game in the first matchup against the Chiefs and then had another pretty good game last week against them catching the ball. I think collectively the running backs of the Bills had about 6 catches in that game. So accounting for receiving, where Hill could catch a wheel route as we've seen this season and take it for 40 yards, or a little screen and take it for 20. I think the running back is going to be involved because of the Chiefs' blitzing looks, where he might be able to get out in space and make something happen, or just going one-on-one with the linebackers, where that's where you want to attack the Chiefs. You don't want to attack them at corner. You want to attack them at safety and linebacker, and that could be the running back Hill here. And then on top of that, the running game, where the Ravens have a distinct advantage. Hill was the leading rusher last week against the Texans. He had, I think, 11 carries for 60-plus yards. He could have another 10 carries in this game. The carries prop is set up 7.5 if you want to take that. That's also a decent look. The rushing is about around 40 he needs, but I'm just going to go total yards because I think Hill is going to have, last week just alone rushing, he had this over. So I think that rushing or receiving, we're going to see Hill make some plays in this game out of the backfield. And because of the biggest advantage in this game being the Ravens rushing offense over the Chiefs rushing defense, I want to lean into that, especially if the Ravens are leading for the entire game and they're kind of icing the game in the fourth quarter. Hill will get plenty of work. So I'm going over Hill total yards 50.5 as the prop. The final bet is going to be a little bit of a simple money line parlay. Just give me the Niners and the Ravens to make the Super Bowl. This would pay out at about a 1.9, minus 110 sort of bet. So basically you're just betting one game versus the spread, essentially, for most people out there. This is a solid bet, in my opinion. Niners, Ravens, this has been the Super Bowl that I picked before the playoffs. This is the Super Bowl I think we're going to get. Maybe I'm totally wrong. Maybe you disagree. Let me know in the comment section below. But this is a bet I'll be making this weekend. Thank you guys so much for watching. Grind, spike the like button. Don't forget to subscribe. Let me know your best bets for Championship Sunday, AFC, NFC title games. See ya for the Super Bowl. Peace.